miles from Moab, and we're going to be going right by Dead Horse Canyon
State Park.
State Park.
Which we may stop by on the way back up.
We thought the scenery that you're seeing now is worth it. We're on Highway 313. Oh, Dead Horse Canyon. Okay, the story goes that in the old days, we're talking back in the 1800s, they used to round up wild horses on the mesa. And for some reason, some cowboys round up some horses and corralled them at the end of the mesa and forgot about them. And so all the horses died within sight of water. So that's why they call it Dead Horse Canyon. Seems kind of sketchy to me, but that's the story. Look at that.
Yeah.
Hole in the wall over there. Look at these walls of these mountains and the different colorations in the rock layers. Sometimes you swear you can see different characters. At one point where we're going, we're supposed to be able to stop by and this one area and see ancient Native American pictographs that's carved into the wall. So we'll see. Right now it's 87 degrees.
It's 10 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah. 10 o'clock in the morning.
It's supposed to get up to 96 today, I think.
Cattle guard. Sometimes we're not early risers.
Yeah, neither one of us slept last
I mean,
night.
to get to the parks right as they open. So we may have to wait in line. But that's just the way it is. Come on, Nelly. Around this way, beastie. Look at that formation over there on the left. Sorry you can't see some of this, but you get a general idea of what it's like climbing up these canyon walls.
Those three.
I'm doing 40 miles an hour right now, and this curve is supposed to be at 30. So you never know what's around these curves. Well, this is a 180-degree turn. Open range country, cows. There's not a whole lot for them to eat out here. I mean, it's not like there's big grasslands. let's see what's at the top of this hill. Whoops, he's slowing down. We have noticed a lot of rental RVs.
Yeah.
RVs to go or RVs to rent or whatever the name of it
Cruise
is.
America.
We've noticed a lot of them.
Ever since we got to South Dakota, we've seen a lot.
And it's probably, it could be more economical for people who can't afford to buy one. And they're not going to use it all that often. So why buy it?
Probably cheaper than a hotel room.
Well, yeah, sure. I mean, hotel rooms are, what, 200 plus?
Probably.
In the tourist areas, I'm sure it's more than that. Depending on what you pick. I mean, you could probably stay in a Motel 6 for cheap.
$100.
They'll leave the light on for you. Sammy, move the camera over there. Just kind of twist it so they can. We did clean the window this morning, so we remember to do that. Let's see here, what have we got?
Foot Louie. See the holes up in there.
We got at the campground that we're staying at, which is a KOA, they have really good Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
About the best we've encountered so far. And it allows me to leave the videos longer because they're faster with the faster link to upload. So I don't have to cut them into so many parts. So hopefully this video of Canyonlands and Dead Horse Canyon will be all together. So we'll see. There's a place in Canyonlands, it's called Island in the Sky. It should be a really nice viewpoint.
It's got several pull-off viewpoints in that area, in that loop.
And what's the one called, the Dead Horse Canyon? I can't remember what the name of the point is, but it's... Mom's looking it up on the map. But we'll get to it when we get there. But you stop by these visitor centers and you load up on the free maps. And sometimes you have to use two different maps to get a good idea of the roads and
They'll get all the info that you need.
all the information that you need and where all the overlooks and points of interest are. Because sometimes on one map they're not all there. So
Sometimes, especially at the national parks, they'll give you a good detailed map at the gate. Did they do that at Arches? Well, I guess that was what that was.
we got a map there at Arches, but it wasn't as detailed as I'd like to see it.
Yeah.
I mean, you see all these rock formations, and a lot of them have names. Well, they don't always have the names on the map. So you look at something and say, oh, that's pretty, but what's the name of it?
Yeah.
But on the other hand, you can make up your own.
flashing cows up here.
Oh, we got a flashing cow sign, huh?
No, cattle guard.
Cattle guard. Hang on.
That was a little rough. Sorry about that.
Well, the scenery's kind of played out. I mean, it's desert here. I mean, let's just get real. I mean, this isn't a lush area. Unless you like sagebrush or...
It might be in the spring after the snow's melted and had some rain. It's pretty desolate now.
When you get these big rainstorms, which here in the mountains seems to be, they come up all of a sudden. And I mean, it could be raining like you can't believe in one area, and you can look from where you are across the canyon, and it's beautiful.
Bone dry.
But the raging waters that come down these canyons during these rainstorms is what you really got to be careful of, because this ground might look soft, but it isn't. It's hard. I mean, it's sun-baked, heat-baked, and the water just comes rushing down these canyons. That's why they have so many flash flood warnings in these areas. But every place we've been has its own unique touch to it.
Yeah.
They're canyons, they're cliffs, they're hills, you know, deep gorges and things like that, but they... Horse Thief Campground. They have their own unique scenery to them. And here in Utah, Southern Cattle Guard. Hang on. I mean, you have so many parks all right here together. You got Capitol Reef, you got Canyonlands, you got Dead Horse Canyon. I mean, you got Arches and Bear's Ears.
Bryce Canyon.
You've got, and then just south, you have all of the national and state parks down around Monument Valley, which is only like 140 miles away. So there's so much to see in this one area. So many state and national parks. It's, instead of moving, I mean, if you've got an RV, instead of moving it every few days, which can be a hardship, I mean, tearing down and setting up and moving and setting up and tearing down, we decided to pick Moab as our base camp, and we'll just go drive to the parks from there.
Well, that's kind of how we did when we were over western, where we at? Yeah, the western half, we stayed at Hatch. We were able to drive around.
Yeah, we stayed in Hatch and took in Bryce and Zion and the Grand Canyon North Rim. And there's a lot of little state parks around the same area, so we decided to stay here in Moab for 2 weeks because there's so much to see, and we've got the time because we're not in a hurry to keep moving on. So, but you know, if you have to get back home for work or take care of the house or whatever, what have we got coming up here? Okay, there's Dead Horse Point, Canyonlands, straight ahead. Okay, so we're going to go to Canyonlands first. $4 miles. Okay.
A little more grassy area out here.
Yeah. It's the first time I've seen a grass
Expect to see
pasture
cows.
land. I mean,
Some of it's kind of dead. So dry. Most of the roadway's still green.
and actually, we're up on top of a mesa. I mean, we climbed up the mountain. And we're up on top of the mesa. And just ahead of us and to the left, you can start to see the deep canyons, which you'll see here in just a little bit. When we get up to the entrance point, we'll probably shut down the video while we're going through the gate and all that kind of stuff. With Canyonlands, you don't need the $2 reservation for a specific time. That was only at Arches. But because Canyonlands it's a much bigger park, much more roads, and so you don't have all the people trying to use one road. So maybe it'll go fairly fast. And most of these entrance gates do not accept cash. You have to use a charge card or credit card
Or a pass.
or a pre-bought pass like we have with America the Beautiful. So a lot of times when you get to these gates, if people are paying with a credit card or debit card or something like that, it takes time for each one of those transactions, so that kind of backs everything up. We're starting to see the canyon over on the left, and it's another one of those wow moments. I mean, it's just... And sometimes you think, if you see one canyon, you've seen them all. Well, that's not true. Each one of these canyons is a little bit different.
Have their own personality.
And here, we're very close to the Colorado River. And this is the main Colorado River. It cuts these deep gorges into the mountains. So you should be able to get some shots of the Colorado River. I would not want to be riding a motorcycle. I mean, with the sun and the heat the way it is, I mean, it would just cook you.
Cattle garden.
Yep. Hang on.
Isn't too bad.
I'm going to have to get a picture of the sign.
Get closer with this.
Yeah, I might as well take one with mine. Zoom in a little bit better.
Move. Yes. Well, that post is in the way.
Yeah. Got it?
Yeah.
Here we go. I'm looking over to the left of this big canyon, and on top of it you see the sun gleaming off of vehicles. So entrance station ahead. Be prepared to stop. Now you're starting to see the canyon. Oh, it is deep.
I can't really see it from that.
Go ahead and stop it, Tammy, and
Okay.
we'll restart it once we get through the gate.
All right, we'll be back.
Okay. We're at the visitor center. We just entered the park. So this is a nice little walk out here to see the canyon. So I'm going to take you on a little walk. It's pretty much a desert, as you can see. It's pretty terrific though, really. I mean, the scenery. And that's why they call it Canyonlands. It's all right, Tammy. You can come on out here. It's pretty flat. It's a ways down there. It's just beautiful. Look at that rock formation. Peaceful, quiet right now. And this is just the first stop on our tour. I mean, this is right at the visitor center, right across the road. So the many wonderful things you see. Huh?
Reminds you of the Grand.
A little bit, yeah. Not as grand,
No.
but still. If you look at the erosion of the rock from the rain freezing and thawing and the wind erosion, it makes all these different shapes and rock structures. And you could think of it, it's nature's artistry, not man-made. Okay, we'll get back up to the truck and continue on.
Just here. Whoops. Okay, we just left the visitor center. Moving on.
We're going to follow the main park road all the way to the end. All the way down here and then,
Viewpoint overlook.
and then come back up.
Oh no, the Orange Cliffs overlook.
Okay, one thing we should tell you is when you come out here, have very high sunscreen.
SPF.
Yeah, I mean, we're using 50. The other thing you want to have is chapstick, some kind of lip balm or something, because the sun is intense and the heat. Hats.
Oh, this is a Schaefer key.
You see a lot of people who wear long sleeves to keep the sun off their
Yeah,
arms.
sometimes there's those things, people that are allergic to sun get special clothing for that.
And in the back, here in the passenger compartment, we've got our big cooler with ice in it and water and Gatorade.
10 bottles of water, 3 bottles of Gatorade, a little bit of tea, some fruit, some chicken salad for later.
Fruit is nice too because it gives you that sugar for energy, but you also want to carry with you
Well, we've got chips and
corn
Fritos,
chips, like
anything salty snacks.
salty. Yeah.
We've got peanut butter cheese crackers too.
That's what we were just looking at the visitor center, Schaefer. We've got a real small cooler like a Playmate, but it's not big enough to carry enough water and stuff. So
We got rid of the medium size one we had because we just didn't have enough storage space in the RV.
well, I mean,
You don't need 2 coolers, so we've opted to keep the big one.
yeah. And it's a good thing we did. I mean, it's got a plug in it where you can
Yeah.
dump the water.
Well, it
And-
helps when I'm defrosting the refrigerator too. I put everything in there.
Well, that's true. I mean, but you could even get gallons of water in it. Now,
Yeah.
they say that when you get out here, you should drink a gallon of water a day
per person.
per person. That's a lot of water.
At least.
And they're not kidding. I'm telling you, when you get out here and you feel this heat in the sun, and you walk any of these trails, the physical exertion of walking the trail, plus the sun and the heat, will get
Well,
to you.
and the elevation.
And the elevation.
Gets to me.
I don't think we're that high right now. Probably in the 5,000 foot range, somewhere around that area. And so it's not terribly high, but let me tell you, when you get up around 9,000 feet, you feel it.
The highest we should get on this looks like 6,200 feet.
There's lots of trails. I mean, there's just tons and tons of trails. Some of them are a mile or two.
There's only 3 that are in the easy category.
Some are 20 miles. I mean, your mom and I can't do that. We can't walk 20-mile trails or anything. And
Well, I could do a 2 or 3 mile on a cooler day, but in this heat, about a half a mile is about all I can do.
now some of the trails are relatively flat. They might go up in elevation, but they're pretty easy walking trails. Some other trails, you're going to have to climb over rocks.
Yeah.
You're going to have to cross a ladder bridge.
I think so.
I mean, they've got some really difficult trails. And if you really want to tax yourself, have at it.
But come in the early spring or late fall, when it cools off.
You can get yourself out here in the middle of nowhere and get in trouble fast. I mean, right now, the visitor center we just left is the only place to get water out here. And they warn you, they tell you, this is the only place you can get water.
Just brought it all with us.
So, just word to the wise. This has a name, I forget. It's on the map. It's a... Oh, I can't remember what the name of pasture land or something.
Gray's pasture.
Here in Canyonlands, there's 2 rivers that intersect here. One is the Colorado River. What's the other one, Tammy? Green River. And they come together at a point down here. So there is water in this canyon. There's a lot of canyons like Zion. I mean, there's a small little creek river that runs through it, but I mean, no major source of water.
Slow down, sweetie.
The kind of plants, I mean, are big cactus. sagebrush, sage trees. I forget what the yucca.
Little thin leaf yucca. Narrow leaf. Next 15 miles.
Well, I'll tell you what.
That's a snaky road.
Snaky. This is one park we found that they don't allow dirt bikes or off-road vehicles or drones.
They call them OHVs here, off-highway vehicles. It's like those razors and four-wheelers.
They want you to stay off of the soil itself because it's a delicate balance of microorganisms and stuff that I was reading back at the visitor center. But there are other parks that allow off-road vehicles, and they have quite a few trails for them. Everybody has to have their fun. What have we got here, Tammy? Mesa Arch
Trailhead.
It's a trailhead.
It's beautiful.
So if you want to go trekking up a mountain, there you go.
That was the little half-mile one, I think, that we could do.
You want to go back there and do it?
Oh, I don't know if you can find a place to park.
Murphy Point, Green River Overlook. You want to go that way?
We were going to go all the way down first, weren't we?
Well, okay.
Yeah, 6 miles.
All right.
Then we'll come back and do that.
All right. Looking at a deep canyon off to the right. There's no pull off here to see it, so but we'll go down to the end and then we'll start back, I guess. It isn't that far. Being a Saturday, it really isn't as crowded as Arches. I mean, there's people here, but not nearly as much as the Arches.
They were lined up for probably an hour in line.
Yeah, when we went by the
Arches
entrance for it.
Oh, that's pretty.
There's quite a bit of difference here because this is a national park, right? So they have nice paved roads, scenic overlooks, and most of them have at least porta potties spread around. But when we visited Monument Valley, I mean, you're on the Indian reservation. They don't get federal funds. They don't get any state funds to maintain that area. It's all on them. And it's a sacred place for them, so they don't want to put in a whole lot of paved roads and make it really touristy, because it takes away from their spirituality. So you see a big contrast between the national parks and private.
But it's still, I mean, it was beautiful.
Oh, it was.
It had rough roads. It still was just awesome.
I mean, they don't have as deep pockets as the government does.
No.
So,
But it's good to keep the government out of it.
well, yeah. I mean, back when we were visiting Crazy Horse Monument, the federal government offered to give them so many millions of dollars to finish it, and they refused. They said, no, we don't want government money. And more power to them. I mean, they wanted to finish it on their own. The Indian nations did. Because I'm sure that anytime the government wants to give money to you, they want some strings attached somewhere. I mean, you know. But the national parks, they do a really good job of the places that we have visited so far. You've always have the dumb tourist, Buck Canyon overlook, who defy the rules.
Yeah, it looks like they apply to them.
I mean, you'll see them walking off the trails. You'll see them walking their dogs where pets are not allowed.
Yeah.
I mean, and they'll let them crap all over everything. It's sickening sometimes. That is a deep, deep canyon. Tammy and I are wimps. We got the air conditioning on.
My cool seat is on.
Yeah, both of us have our cool seats on, air-conditioned seats.
Living the life.
Imagine boondocking out here in the middle of the afternoon and early evening. It's got to be so hot out here with no air conditioning. I mean, all you can do is make your own shade, but that's about it. there's a lot of people who do it. They love it. No water, no sewer hookups, no power. They have their RVs decked out full of solar panels so they can survive on just solar energy. Some of them carry a generator. Of course, the generator has to have some kind of fuel to run. Say so, from what I can see over the edge. So we're coming up to Grand Viewpoint, which should be the end of the road.
On this loop. 6,080 feet. Right next to them. Those are RV sites.
We're at bus, RV bus. I guess we're an RV, aren't we?
Stay too long.
Hmm?
Don't stay too long.
Well, I'm going to let these cars get out of the way.
All right.
Somebody else drives an RV up here, they can park there.
Slow down. Once we handicapped.
There's always lots of ravens around.
Kind of hazy today.
Nothing else, we can go park at the other place. It's just right down the road.
There's nothing really here. I can park the bus.
Really big thing.
Yeah, it's a big drop off. No parking. it's an extra wide spot. It's only one spot. Don't. Okay, time out while we switch things around.
Can always pause it to read that. This is the Orange Cliffs overlook. The layers of rock has kind of made natural stair steps. But this is a spectacular view. Oh my goodness. You can take a look at that. You can see the river down there, the Green River. You can see how far it stretches across the canyon to the mesa across the way. And you can see how the Green River started cutting down into the canyon over there. Big, huge rocks. Sandstone. Tammy, I'm going to walk over here to the other side. See, you can walk way over there. On top of that, there's a point out there. So you can see all of this. It's several hundred feet down into that canyon. To me, this is always neat. I always love to do this. Walking these trails in these areas out here where you get a good sense of nature. You see all kinds of wonderful things. This area is walkable, so it's the other areas they want you to stay off of. But it's quite something.
Dietro subito lì, scivolano, si spingono. No, Ricky no, è un gioco.
Nella direzione giusta.
Io l'imbranato.
Però l'unica cosa è non vi conviene stancarvi adesso.
Infatti, dai. No.
Quite something.
Dai, torniamo di qua, ragazzi. L'unico mezzo. Quell'omino lì si vede poco. Facciamo uno più bello? Venite, facciamo un omino più bello. Ah, ok, allora ci attendiamo.
Take the easy way down. Come on, Mom, over here. Can you manage that?
No. on your shoulder.
Hello. Those little things are sharp.
Mm-hmm.
We're still at the Orange Canyon. See, there's Mom way up there. She didn't want to come down these rocks. Don't blame her. But God's coming over. Look at that rock over there. It's coming over here to this point. This is quite something. Wow. Look at that. That's wonderful. See these rocks? Look at that one. You can see the layers in the rock. Quite something. If you wanted to come someplace to think things out, this is the place. See how the rocks are just hanging on the ledges over there. It's just beautiful. See, there's Mom way over there. I'm not gonna crawl way up there to get the ultimate shot. This is good enough for me. These canyons, rock formations, the different things you see, just beautiful. Even a plant. I mean, look at that cactus. Now you would not want to step on that or get them needles in your skin. But can you imagine what that looks like when it blooms, like in the spring? Hell, I'm going back up to where Mom is, so. Look at that flat rock right there. These little indentations in the rocks. Nice water to pool up for birds, lizards, or any other animals. I see a lizard on this rock over here. See? You see tons of lizards out here. Amazing place, it really is. I'm just about back up to Mom, so. Now, look at this tree. I can't remember the name of it, but how it twists and turns. It's got a specific name, but I can't remember now what it is. But I'm almost back up to Mom, so I'll let you go.